Hi everyone, how you going? Should be a fairly quick one today. I just wanted to pop in just before I last few days before I go away, just to let you know what's going on. I do have 2 FOs this month, which I was really surprised about. And I filmed a little clip a couple of days ago, so I'll pop that in a minute just to show you those. But hi, hope everyone is well and welcome. My name's Christine. I'm the maker behind Yarn About Yarn, and you can find me as Yarn About Yarn pretty much everywhere. Links are below. Apparently, I got a message from YouTube and I have been putting a heap of clickable links down in the description, and they removed all the hyperlinks from those about a week or two ago. And I forget what the reason was. It was either my channel wasn't big enough or there wasn't enough interaction or whatever. But I went through some ID verification. Clickable links are back. I went back to the last month's video just to check that they were there, and they've been shortened. So I went back into last month's and fixed them all up, but I haven't gone back to the ones before that. So if you're new and you're sort of catching up, that's what's happened to those links. They were once clickable and then YouTube took them away. They're now back, but some of them may not be working. But last month's and from there on should be all okay. But yeah, otherwise I'm Yarn About Yarn, Ravelry, Instagram and Facebook, and a couple of other places too. So yeah, I've got those 2 FOs which I will show you. I actually went and got buttons for the one that I didn't have buttons for. I've got buttons today, so once they're dried, I can pop the buttons on. But I thought I'd just show you, I've got 4 whips that I've been working on this month. Because I finished those other things, I pulled out my Kumo again, and I've started doing a bit of work on that. I was so close to like frogging this. The other day when I pulled it out, I thought, I'm going to get that Kumo out and I'm going to frog it. But when I looked at how much I had done, I'd actually finished the body. I thought, I'll keep going. I don't know what it is, but I'm just not feeling it for this sweater. But anyway, that's where we're at with the body. It's got this really interesting shoulder detail, which this is a skein yarn that I'm using, but it's the exact same makeup as the recommended yarn for the pattern. This is skein ACM, which is, it's in a plastic bag so I can read through. 38% baby alpaca, 37% Pima cotton and 25% merino. I would not have chosen this yarn to do a pattern in. It's actually not showing up too badly, but in real life, it's quite difficult to see. It's just sort of a fuzzy something. But I thought this would be a good one to make with this yarn because the makeup was exactly the same as what the designer used. So I'm working on the sleeve. Yeah, not much to say. I don't know what it is about it. I think too, for a fluffy sort of sweater, the gauge is quite open. So I feel like I would have to wear something underneath it. But yeah, so I am going to get that done, and it'll be interesting to see how much wear I actually get out of that one in the future. Another one that is a long-term whip that I pulled out, and unfortunately it's also skein yarn. I have nothing against skein yarn, and these 2 yarns are totally different. It's the project. I don't know what it is about these projects. This is the Ironwork tee. I think with this one it's because it is knit bottom up. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So this is in the skein merino silk sport, which is 50-50 silk merino. I've split now for the front and back. So maybe I'll make some more progress on this one because I'll only be knitting half the stitches. But that's how that's looking. So yeah, it's just a little bit for the front and back, and then it's just got short sleeves. But all these things, I mean, I'm going away next week. I'll be away for 5 weeks. So these are just going to be sitting idle till I get back, and we'll go from there. The other one I've been working on is the Stephen West Mild Magic Blanket, which I'm really enjoying. But I'm trying to sort of put it aside to get through a few of my older whips. I've got so many new things I want to cast on, like that borrow jacket and a couple of others, but I'm sort of like holding strong and trying to get through these whips. So this is where I am at with my Mild Magic Blanket. You can see it's growing and it's looking quite bright, which wasn't my intention, but that's just the yarns I've got. So it's going to be absolutely huge because you can see how big it is already. I mean, it's not blanket like already, but it is quite big. And I'll show you on the little schematic that he's got where I'm up to. I'm actually colouring in each section, if I can find it, just to keep me motivated. Here it is. So I'm actually only up to section 5, and there's 28 sections, so still a long way to go. Okay. And as you can see, section 5 is increasing on both ends. So the rows are just getting super long now. I don't know how many stitches there are. So that's actually slowing me down. Yeah. Now that I've pulled it out, I feel a bit tempted to work on that one this afternoon, but we'll see. I've got a few things to get done. The other thing I decided that I needed for my trip was something to carry my water bottle. And I just wanted like a crossbody type of thing. So I have cast something on. I'm crocheting. Just don't want to drop my stitch. I'm using the Abbey Road Kung Fu cotton from Spotlight, which for some reason I've got a few balls of this in my stash. I've got this colour, I've got a bone colour and a couple of pinks. I really don't like crocheting with this. It's just so splitty. Like, I'm forever like losing one of the pliers while I'm working with that. But anyway, it's working up so quickly. So I looked at Shelley Husband, because I can never remember the ratio for increasing when you're doing a circle to get it to lay flat. Like I always remember the second row, like you do your first row and then the second row is like doubling it, but I know from then on it's not quite. So Shelley Husband has got a formula for increasing. I've got this in my Ravelry projects, and I'm sort of making notes in there as to how I've made it. So if you're interested, you can just pop along and have a look at that. So I did that. Then there was it a slip stitch in the back loop just to get that turning row, and then I started working the body in double crochet. This is in UK crochet terms. And then I sort of went back and looked at the bottom, which I'd done in trebles, and I thought, oh, I wish I'd done that in double crochet, because I think it is going to stretch out, and I think the trebles will stretch out more than the doubles. So what I actually did was I made another base and I've sewn that into the bottom. So that's actually double thickness on the bottom. So hopefully that'll sort of help it with stretching. It also provides a bit of padding as well. But yeah, I'm just working that up, as you can see, in a spiral until it gets to the height I want. And then I'm going to just work backwards and forwards on, I don't know, 4, maybe 5 stitches to do the strap. as long as I want, and then I'll just sew it, I guess, to the other side, and that'll be it. But I started that last night, so that's working up really quickly. But I'm trying to do it at a fairly tight gauge, and yeah, this splitting yarn is making it a bit slower, but that's how that's coming along. And that's it for whips. So, you know, the Kumo's not too far off, and the ironwork tee is not too far off. This will be done today or tomorrow whenever I pick it up again. So slowly getting through a lot of my older whips, trying not to cast on too many new things. There probably won't be much change in those whips when I chat to you next time. I'm not sure whether I will get an end of August video out. I don't get back until the second week of September. So I sort of might just leave it and do a combine sort of thing. I will be popping a few things into probably just my stories on Instagram as I go through the trip, if there's anything interesting. I have enrolled in a little creative workshop thing while I'm over there, just for a couple of hours. So anything like that I'll put on my grid on Instagram if it's relevant. I don't want to bore too many of my Instagram followers with, you know, travel vlogging, so that's why it'll be in the stories. What else? Oh, I have set up a monthly newsletter. So there is a sign up for that on my website, which is yarnaboutyarn.com, and it's just at the bottom of every page. You'll see there's a sign up there if you're interested. And I put a thing up about it on Instagram a couple of days ago. Everyone sort of says, you know, if you're trying to have some sort of online business, which I am, I'm trying to sell my weaving online and knitting patterns, but mostly my weaving now. And they all say that, you know, don't rely on Instagram, don't rely on Facebook, because those things could be taken from you at any moment, which is true. Like your account could get hacked or the whole platform could just disappear. And that the best form of, you know, staying in touch with people is to have a newsletter. And I've resisted that for so long because I thought I didn't have anything to say in a newsletter. And yeah, I couldn't see how relevant it was to me. But I've decided I will have a newsletter now. It's not going to be a salesy newsletter, but it's just a way of staying in contact with people. And especially if for some reason I do lose my Instagram or Facebook account, more Instagram, because that's where I have the most followers and most interaction with people. I've only recently set up the Facebook page, so I don't have a lot of followers over there. You know, if anything did happen to that and people were interested in finding me, that there would be a way. But it's going to be more like just a chatty little newsletter. I'm going to look at it as if I'm writing to a friend that I don't see that often, or, you know, to a pen pal or something. Just interesting things about, not so much my personal life, no one's interested in that, but what I've been up to creative wise during the week. If I've done any workshops, if I'm going to any markets or doing any exhibitions or anything like that, anything that's, you know, textile, weaving, knitting related, that I think people that follow me on Instagram and Facebook and here on YouTube, things that I think you might be interested in. So that's what that is. If you're interested, the link to my website will be in the description if you'd like to sign up. It's only going to be about once a month, probably towards the end of the month. Maybe I can get something out while I'm away on the trip to tell you about the workshop that I've done. But yeah, so we'll just see how that goes. And I think that's probably about it. The only project I'm going to take away with me is that, I think it's called the Colour Play Mohair Wrap, which I have started just to get going. So I've got that to take away. I'm not taking any other projects with me. I actually thought, oh, maybe I should take a little, you know, like a Zoom loom or a little mini frame loom or something and do some weaving, but then I'd have to take, you know, a heap of yarn. So I'm just going to have to give that a break for 5 weeks and see how I go. And I don't know whether I will get to visit any yarn stores, and I have no plans to buy yarn, but you know, we'll just see what happens. So yeah, there'll be another clip following where I just show you my 2FOs for this month. And yeah, I think that's it. Take care, everyone, and I'll chat to you probably closer to the end of September. No problem. There might be a surprise video pop up in the meantime, but yeah, if you don't hear from me, that's what's going on. Okay, bye everyone. Just popping in quickly to show you a couple of finished objects, because I'm just about to block them and I don't think they'll be dry when I do start this video and get uploaded. And I've just realised I've done it again. I've waited till I've put my dishwasher on and started filming. Not to worry. So I finished the V-neck chocky. I still don't know how to pronounce that. Which basically is, yeah, like a, you know, vest cardigan type of thing. I need to get some buttons, but I want to get it blocked first so that the band is laying flat before I sew the buttons on. And I didn't find anything in my button box that I was happy with. So that is that gorgeous yarn from Oyster Yarns that I got from the Pearl box many years ago. So I'm glad that is finally off the needles. I've got a couple of, oh, have I got a couple of skeins left? I think I've got a couple of skeins left, so I'll have to find something else, maybe a little scarf or something. So that one's done. The other one that I got done was the April cardigan. I don't know whether I'd even cast this on last time I spoke to you. It's out of the Knit Picks Indigo Reflections, maybe, just a basic cardigan. It does have a really nice saddle shoulder detail, and that's in the cotton and linen. So yeah, I was really glad I got that finished. It's got a nice sort of balloon, not real balloon sleeve, but a little bit. So I quite like that. I did find some buttons in my button stash for this one, and it requires 4, and I have 4. There's 3 of them there. It's actually a vintage button, and on the back it says Butterick Patterns, Vogue Patterns, recommended price $1.75. There is no way you could get 3 buttons for $1.75 these days. So I do have the 4 of those, and I think they'll be okay. They're actually showing up a little bit lighter, but yeah. So I'm going to try and get those blocked so that they dry as soon as possible. Had another rainy day yesterday, but today you can see it's nice and sunny. So yeah, chat soon.